Hi everybody, welcome back to my 13 Haunted Projects of Halloween series, and today we are on project number 2. I used Happy Haunting 6x6 paper pad and this Trick or Treat paper pad. This one I got from HSN Home Shopping Network this year, and this one I got years ago at Hobby Lobby. And I created this cute 6x6 accordion flip album without paper shims. And let me see if I have a piece that I could show you what a shim is, just in case you're newer to doing accordion albums. A lot of times when you put these albums together, you need paper shims like these. This is 1 inch, and then you score it, and then you add scoring tape to it, and you attach your pages to the shims. Well, I wanted to see if I could do it by just attaching pockets, and that's what we're going to create today. I'm just going to page through this really quick for you. I had this chipboard piece in my stash for quite a while, so I wanted to use that. And then I had this Witch's Broom embellishment that I made a long time ago. I will post a link below to this if I think the video is still uploaded, in case you're interested on how I created that. And then I have this Dollar Tree cobwebbing, and then I used one of my spider web dies to cut out some spider webs, and I also used my white paint to do some paint splashes all over the cover. It has a ribbon closure, and when you open it up, you're going to open it just like a regular accordion album. I have a corner pocket here, which we're going to create first so that you have it for when you put your mat together. And then a cute little page here, and then 2 photo mats for journaling, photos tucked in the pocket here. Then there's this page here with a large photo mat, and I made this cute little jack-o'-lantern with candy corn in it. It's like a trick-or-treat bucket. I also have a video on that I'll post below in case you're interested. And then I have 2 pocket pages here, and I did take their photo mats out, but I'll just put those back in there. And I have 2 photo mats here. The pockets that we're going to create today are similar, except I punched them out here so that we could put this album together so much easier. The way I did this one was a little more complicated, but you know, when you're trying to figure things out, you make it harder on yourself sometimes before you figure it out. So anyway, I have this cute little embellishment here. It says Spooky Night, and then I did this ghost on my Cricut. And we made these in a previous Halloween series, this Bad to the Bone tombstone, so I will post a link below to that as well if you are interested in making that, along with this embellishment here. It says Brew Up Some Fun. I recently made these embellishments in this little envelope here to go on to paper clips, but I created this one just to put on a mini album. So like I said, I'll post that below. And you can just slide a photo right behind it onto this photo mat. Then there's a double-sided photo mat here. This is the back of the album where I created a pocket and a pull-out tag. And then 2 more photo mats or journaling cards. And then it opens this way for another side pocket. 2 more photo mats, 2 photo mats here, and then I put on some of my handmade candy corn embellishments. That video will be posted below. And then over here there's a full photo mat and another pocket with more photo mats here. So there is like over 25 areas for large photos or larger photos in this album between what you want to tuck in your pockets. You can even make more. It's entirely up to you. And then we're back to the front cover. So that's how this one turned out. Today I'm using the Matte Stack 6x6 paper pad called Halloween Garden by DCWV. And this was back in, 2020. And I'm finally like tearing into it and using it up. So that's kind of why I wanted to create the 6x6 album, because I have a lot of 6x6 paper pads that I'd like to use up and make my stash lower so I can buy new, because that's always fun, right? Okay, so that's what I'm using today. And we're going to start off real quick just creating the corner pocket here, because I know some of you might want to know how I made this. So we'll create the corner pocket and then we'll put the album together, and I'll give you all the measurements. And let me get out my cutting board. Okay, I have them all cut up here. So this is actually, when you do it this way, you're going to create two pockets for yourself. So I have here a 4x4 piece of black cardstock. I'm going to line up this point and this point on my cut line. Here and here. And I'm going to cut, and that created two corner pockets. Now, you could just put it on your album, add some glue here and glue here, just as is if you wanted to, but I went a little bit further. I like to take the corners off, so I'm going to line it up on the bottom. Right here's my cut line. Hopefully I'm in camera. Hold on. I think I'm in camera now. Right here's my cut line. I'm going to push it past my cut line to the 1/4 inch mark and just take that little tip off. Flip it around, and I'm going to do the same thing. Line it up, push it past the cut line to the 1/4 inch line, and take that tip off. So now we have our corner pocket, and you could do the same thing to this one. In order to mat it, I went ahead and measured 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. I'm going to do this the same exact way. Point and point on my cut line. Okay, now I have two mats and two corner pockets. I'm going to take those corners off. Let me flip this around. Maybe the white, you'll probably be able to see it better. I'm going to line it up, take this point past my cut line to the 1/4 inch on this side, and just take that off. And I'm going to do, I am going to have to flip it this way, sorry. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Okay. Let's get rid of our cutter. We won't need that anymore. And I'm just going to mat my pocket. Let's see if my glue works here. Da, 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 da. There we go. Okay, and now our pocket is all done for our album. I'm going to set that aside, and we are going to put this album together. This one I already have pretty much ready to go for when we need to mat it, so I don't waste a lot of your time. I'm going to set that aside. No, Sherlock, you cannot come on my desk and be in my video. My cat just jumped on the table next to me. Okay, so to put the album together, you are going to need one sheet of 12 by 6 cardstock. And then you will need 4 sheets of 9 by 6. And the scoring is super easy because you're going to score at 6 inches on all of them. So line it up at the 12 by 12, and you're going to score at, or 12 inches, and you're going to score at 6. Then the other 4 pieces, you're going to line up at the 9-inch mark, and you're going to score at 6 on all 4 of these pieces. Okay? Once you have that done, you're going to fold your score lines and burnish. And for those of you that are newer to scrapbooking or crafting, if burnish is just another way of saying press down that score line really well so it's nice and smooth. When I first started scrapbooking, there was so much terminology I didn't know, and it was really confusing to me, and it was hard to learn. So I figured, you know what, when I start doing videos, I want to do them so that people like myself can understand, and you know, if you're newer to it. And okay, so we have all our score lines done. We are going to take our 12 by 6 piece, and we're going to start with this. Okay. This is a pocket page, and what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to take my circle punch. You don't have to do this. This is completely optional, but I like to line it up in the center of that pocket and punch a hole. And that way when it's closed, you'll be able to tell, you know, where the pocket is a lot easier. All right, so we have our book. We're going to open it up. You're going to take this flap and you're going to slide it underneath so that the pocket's on top. You want to make sure that your album is lined up. Now what I'm going to do is, I have a little tip here. I like to slide a white piece of cardstock underneath when I'm working with black or craft color cardstock, because if you're like me, I have a hard time seeing my edges sometimes when it's black. Don't know why, but it's just that way. So I slide a piece of computer paper underneath, and I'm going to push this against it. I'm going to make sure it's flush on the top and the bottom. I'm going to open this back up and slide it in camera better for you guys. I'm sorry. I didn't realize when I set up my camera I was so off. Make sure it's flush. Open it back up. You're going to add glue near your score line, but try and stay away at least 1/8 of an inch, because when you close up this pocket, you don't want the glue to smush its way through to another page, just in case you add a little too much. So glue on here 1/8 of an inch away from the score line, and then glue up both sides and just close up your pocket. I'm going to get a rag. I'm going to push down with my bone folder, make sure that's nice and pressed down. And we're going to do the same thing to this side. We're going to take one of those pocket pages. I'm going to cut my half moon in the center. That's optional, you don't have to. You're going to take this full page and you are going to slide it underneath and line it up so that you can close your pocket on the end. Now I'm not level up here, so just want to make sure it's level on the bottom, level on the top, pushed in. I'm going to put my hand here, open up my pocket, Add my adhesive at least 1/8 of an inch away from that score line, up this side and up this side, and close. Run my bone folder over it. Okay, so now we have our center that has 2 pockets, and we also have these 2 end pages here, this one and this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip it around to the opposite side, and we're going to work with the very last piece, the end. You're going to take another pocket and you're going to do the exact same thing. Half moon in the center, slide it under, close up the pocket, make sure you are flush on the bottom, level on the bottom, and level on the top. Open that pocket back up and add your adhesive. I hear you, baby. Why is it when mommy's doing crafting, you never seem to come in here and meow at me unless I'm doing a video, huh? Do any of you guys have cats at home that do the same thing? Or pet, you know, dogs too. I'm sure. Hold on one second. Because he's trying to get my attention and jump all over everything. Stop that. Okay. I got him down. Alright, so now we have our pocket on this end piece. We're going to go all the way to this end here. And we're going to do the same thing. Okay, sorry guys. Got your pocket page. Half circle in. We're going to slide it underneath. This is the end. Close up the pocket, push it against, and make sure you're level on the bottom and the top. He keeps jumping on the desk next to me and knocking everything over. So if you heard all that noise, that's what that was. Okay, let me open up the pocket and add my glue. Remember to stay 1/8 of an inch away and close it up. Use your bone folder, push down, and a rag to clean it up. Okay, now I'll show you. This is what it looks like from the top view when it's all together. And this is the front. So it's going to open here, open here. Those are 2 pockets. Here, back page, and then it flips this way. Here's a pocket, and here's a pocket over here, and then we're back to the front. So I'm going to share with you how to mat your album, put the ribbon on, and the measurements for everything. So I have this one already started. Put this aside. This is my front cover. Okay, and it opens this way. Before you mat your front cover, if you want to have a ribbon closure like this, I went ahead and I measured 30 inches of ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and wind it around the front and the back of the album. I already covered the back. What you want to do is join them both in the ends there and pull it, and then you want to make sure you're pretty much in the center of your album. I'm going to flip that back open and I'm going to add double-sided tape. If I can find the edge, there it is. To the center. Run my bone folder over it. It just makes it easier to lift up this paper. And I'm going to lay that ribbon right back down. I don't know if you guys can see a cat paw coming in, but he's trying really hard. Okay. Then your first mat on the front, and you're going to need approximately, let me see, I think you're going to need 8 of these. Yeah, I used 8 full-size mats, which measure 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. I'm going to add glue to the front. And I also, you could use double-sided tape, but I add a little bit of liquid glue right in here where the ribbon is. And I'm going to mat my front page. Now, like I said, sometimes I have a hard time seeing the edges of my black cardstock. So I'm going to open that up, slide my computer printer paper under there, and it just makes it a little bit easier for me to see the very edges. I'm going to run my bone folder over that. Especially if you've been working all day and you're crafting and your eyes get tired, sometimes it's really hard to see. Okay, so now you have your front cover. You can decorate it however you'd like. Then the next 2 pages, just like here, those are our full pages. I'm going to add the corner pocket to this page here. I don't know where my corner pocket went. Oh, there it is. I was like, where did my corner pocket go? Okay, so all I do is add glue down the side and the bottom for my corner pocket. That's it. Okay, I'm going to line that up to the edge of my decorative mat and press that down. And then these are all ready to decorate. This is the pocket page. So I'm going to show you how I matted in here and then the 2 pockets. This one I already cut out, but all 4 mats are going to measure 2 7/8 across by 5 7/8 high. This one I already punched out, but I will show you a trick on how I'm able to kind of get my mat to measure, to come up with the same measurements for the pocket. Because you don't want the holes to be off center when you mat it. So I'll just show you a little. I use my white Jelly Roll pen and I mark my edges and I punch that way. And then that way it lines up pretty well for me. Again, I'm going to stick some white paper under there so I can see what I'm doing. And mat the pocket. And then I will mat right next to it. and I try and center it as best I can between my score line and my pocket line over here. I'm going to do the same thing to this side. I add a lot of glue, not a lot of glue, but I add glue in the center of my papers besides adding to the edges, and that way it won't buckle when you have it on. Sometimes if you don't add a little bit of adhesive in the centers, it kind of buckles up on you and you get a bubble under there. Okay, so now I want to mat this pocket with the glitter cardstock. And I know this hole is already punched out. I know it's hard to see, but you know that. So what I'm going to do is, I know this is going to be my side. I'm going to line it up. I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to look where my edges are, where I punched my half circle. And all I do is just kind of make a half moon shape in there where I know I'm going to want to cut. I'll line up my punch that out, and double check that it's going to line up for me. Oh, it's a little off, guys. I hate when that happens. There we go. There we go. And that's how I do it. You may want to mat your pockets before you glue them down if you're going to punch holes in them like I did. It just makes your life easier. But that's entirely up to you guys. That's usually how I get my mats perfectly aligned with the hole I already punched. Okay, run my bone folder over it. And there we have our two pocket pieces. Then I had two full mats. My back page, it opens up. I have another pocket here. Once your pockets are glued down and they've had time to dry, I just take my bone folder and kind of run it along the edges just to make sure it's nice and secure, number one. And number two, it just enables you to slide your photo mats in a lot easier. Just kind of lift it a little bit. Okay, so all together, you're gonna need, and I'm pretty sure it's 8. Let me open this up because it opens like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You will need 8 designer paper mats that measure 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. And then you have your pocket pages. You'll need 2, 4, 6, 8. You'll need 8 mats that measure 2 7/8 by 5 7/8. So 8 and 8. And that's it, guys. That's how I put together this accordion album. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care and happy crafting.